Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you can hear me this evening. Thank you for being patient as we've had a little bit of technical difficulties as we're once again mobile, going around worldwide, and we're on the West Coast. So we're making some things happen, but unfortunately, everything is not set up for multiple inputs, such as electrical lines, multiple Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi. And so, therefore, we have to make do with what we have to make do because the show will still try to go on. So, before I get into this, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Now, what else are we going to talk about tonight? USA in empire, in decline. The reason why it's significant is because think about this. You are a subsidiary of the massive corporation. If the corporation cannot pay its way, cannot fund anything, the corporation needs to take more money out of your pocket to run. That means it's bad for all subsidiaries, all those with tax ID numbers, all those with EIN numbers, all those with ITIN numbers, all those who have green cards, everything that goes down that path when you have a declining empire means you decline as well. Sure, along with every empire, you're going to have the people who are millionaires and billionaires who are able to succeed, whether the declining empire happens or not. But for the majority of people, it's 1933. Just saying. And welcome. Stop struggling out gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for being here this evening. Now, this is a situation where we do talk about solutions. We always have solutions for you, but first, share the video because other people are going to need solutions. Other people need to think about what's going to happen in a declining empire. A lot of people have taken everything for granted, the credit cards for granted, the passports for granted, your ID that's accepted everywhere for granted. You've taken all of this for granted. But in a crumbling empire, when the government's going to need to take more of your money, that means a lot of people are going to start making choices. They're not going to be paying or giving into the government system. They're going to evade or leave. So, therefore, you have to start thinking about putting yourself in position, I would hope. But then again, some of you are fat cats here in America. Let's just face facts. You guys want to do things such as there's an immigration problem, let's say, and you don't want immigrants in this country. Well, then those low wages, the exploitation that's already happening, United States citizens, uh, H-1B1 visa workers, it does not matter. Everybody's exploited, is exploited. So therefore, you have to start thinking about where's your duffel bag of cash. You guys know I've talked about this over the years. Where are you going to have assets that you can get to if your bank account's turned off? What is going to go through your mind if you have no food or water? Think about this, right? You're going to join the mob. You're going to join the guys that are going to everybody's house and looting, right? You're not going to sit there and starve to death for you and your family, right? You're going to do whatever it takes. So now, USA empire declining means you have to start thinking ahead, regardless of the press. I just keep saying this to everybody. $36 trillion in deficit, and you're not even thinking about paying it off, paying it back. So when somebody like a friend of yours does the same thing, let's say your friend, they owe somebody, right? Like $100,000. And so then you tell them, hey, why are you spending more money? And if they said something crazy to you like, oh, it's because I'm actually printing the dollar bills in back. I'm adding more money to the money supply, but That's no problem, is it? Well, see, more money in the money supply means you're causing inflation. So what about that $100,000 you owe? Well, I'm not going to pay that. I'm not going to worry about it. And by the way, that $10,000 per year or 50,000, $100,000 per year in interest that I owe now because I've never paid this back for 20 years or 30 years, I can't pay that back either. You can see where a problem would start to occur because if that person was supposed to receive money from people, people would be like, well, if you're not going to be using the money wisely, then why are we giving you more money for you to go waste? You wouldn't do that. But we're allowing it from the United States government and a declining empire because that declining empire, you want safety. Let me know what you guys think tonight because you want safety means you're willing to put up with spending almost $1 trillion for a military. You're putting up with they're going to steal your Social Security. They've already done it out of the Social Security fund. You're putting up with, well, you can't have a union and get paid more and have health care and benefits. No, no, no. You're putting up with all this stuff, but yet the tax man comes calling and you can be thrown in jail. You could be fined, bank accounts, assets seized because you don't pay your bills. And the United States government doesn't pay their bills, and you and us and me and taxpayers keep giving them more money. And they keep taking away our public services, which is bad. So, with all that said, I want you guys to be prepared. And what we've done over the past 5 years, a lot of people are prepared. We have people who why doing everything they can do, make sure they put themselves in their family's position. If they crumbling because they years for that's why I want to know, are you still in Peru or have you hopped to another country? Because again, he's going around the world. He's surveying other locations. He's already got property in other locations outside the United States. So he's done the wise thing. He has money coming in from the United States from the forms of whatever retirement income, Social Security, and things like that. For he puts himself in position. But if anything in America gets shut down, your bank account's turned off, no money, all zeros, and you have no way to get any money, and nobody else has any way to get any money, then that's going to be a problem. So the declining empire means you have to start thinking outside of your comfort. You go, okay, I make a nice living. Let's just make $200,000 per year. Right? Put yourself in the top 1%, the top 1%, basically. And so therefore, you're saying I'm doing fine. Well, that's just a lot of people that work for the federal government, a lot of people that work in these tech jobs who make $200,000 per year have been getting fired and laid off. Just like that. Tech layoffs, all of a sudden, it's massive, thousands of people, right? The federal government, thousands of people. Great. All right, gentlemen. We will just tonight. So I want to thank everybody for their patience. If you're here, maybe and share the videos. Now that I'm going to have to do a podcast format, make sure you guys, again, share this podcast or video. Make sure you let other people hear this video. Again, my name is Eric Bird. I'm with SSN Nation. Stop struggling now. Family. And because I am, we do have to support our own. Our own professor, Auntie Val and family runs beachfrontjava.com, beachfrontjava.com. Make sure you use promo code SSN Lifestyle, all capital letters, all one word, whenever you order coffee or tea. Premium blended coffee from the best locations in the world. And that would be Central America, South America, Africa, and Indonesia. And Ziploc bags always stays fresh. And I know before you thinking about it. Fine ground for you espresso lovers, drip ground, Keurig, and whole beans, the whole gamut, and comes in different notes, just like wine. Some notes are chocolate, some notes are dark chocolate, some are what other notes do you? Molasses and brown sugars and cinnamon and all kind of different varieties. It's special. And half-pound bag up to 5-pound bags. Get your order today, ladies and gentlemen. Free shipping in the United States. If you're outside the US, of course, it's going to cost you more shipping. But nonetheless, this is what we have to do. Mom and pop businesses. This is what you have to do. Extra streams of income. Whenever you have an empire that's declining, when your population cannot buy food and groceries, cannot take care of their kids and pay child care services at $200, $300, $400, $500 per week. But what do we tell you to do? As long as there's help out here, you go to findhelp.org. All right, findhelp.org. Put in your zip code and you'll see all types of help that is coming from the federal state government that your taxpayer dollars is supporting, plus those people who are very nice and wealthy who also donate. All right, one bedroom with one bathroom starting at 68K. Okay, that looks like most developing nations. Two bedroom, 123 bedroom, 160. The beauty is that you can Airbnb them. Yes, but as you know, I love the Airbnb platform that gives people, but here's the situation. How many tourists or how many people are going to be renting Airbnbs in Argentina? Especially Buenos Aires is a nice big city, right? But is it going to be really worth 160K? Because you can buy 160K, three bedrooms in a lot of third world countries. You can go to Thailand, you can go to DR, you can go to Vietnam. You got a lot of opportunities. I mean, hell, you can even go to South Africa. So the question is, do we have the tourist numbers to do Airbnb, or do we have the renters who's going to use our Airbnbs? That is the multi-million dollar question. And I am not familiar with Argentina's tourism situation. And I will say this, they only have, what, 45 million people that even live in the country. So, how many tourists do you think may arrive in Argentina? Of course, we can Google it and find out. But this is the point. The man is outside of the country. He recognized that he needs to get something outside of the country. So while he's there, he's checking out real estate. I can't blame him. I'd be doing the same thing everywhere I go. I always check out real estate. Like I said, because the reason why is somebody always needs a place to stay, place to live. You can turn it into short-term rentals with vacationing if you're in a tourist destination. So you have an opportunity to make money or have some assets, which is real estate, that you have someone else pay for. That's the ideal scenario because we're going to be in nations of renters here in the United States. And what's even funnier is talking to people who rent and they think owning a home, they're not renting. And again, this is the fallacy. This is something that's very interesting because in America over the last 40 years, 45 years, we turned our system into where assets you can use the credit. You can use the credit. You can use the equity to get more money. And the rate of how the mortgage rates are, they could be 2.8, 2.5, 3.1. So that means people can spend more money to buy the same thing that was $100,000 less just a year or two ago, because now we value things differently. But whether you value it differently or not, here's the situation. I own a home. If I do not pay water, sewer, garbage, if I do not pay my property taxes, if I do not pay the energy bill is not the one. Nothing's going to happen. I'll just have my stuff turned off. But if you start not paying the services that go to that house, water, sewer, and garbage, they can put a lien on your house. Not saying they're going to sell your house, but there'll be a lien on your house. It will get satisfied when somebody buys it. But when you don't pay your property taxes, and you do that for a couple of years or a few years or less, your house could be on the auction block, or somebody could actually buy the taxes and ultimately push you out into oblivion. This is how crazy it is, whether it's 1 year or 2 years. It depends on the laws of the state. But the point I'm trying to make is you're always going to be renting because your water, sewer, and garbage means you don't have no water if you don't pay it. Property taxes mean if you don't pay that, your house will be sold. You will lose it. So those are just two things. Don't have an HOA because if you don't pay your HOAs, they're going to put a lien on your house. And some of these HOAs are crazy right now. They're trying to sell people's homes for a few $1,000s worth of HOA fee. You never know what's going to happen in the future out here. So therefore, that's why this podcast, the SSN Nation podcast live stream, unfortunately, I don't have Wi-Fi in this location where I'm at. So I have to use a slower speed, and that's why I'm doing the podcast, everybody. Post-retirement travel says, I am talking in a very affluent neighborhood. Oh, now he's talking to me. Now he's talking to me. A bunch of bars and tourist attractions. Hell, we're staying in a beautiful Airbnb condo next door. We love the colonial architecture. Of course you do, man. It's cool. Let's face facts. It's cool. It has character. I love it. I agree with you as well. All right. Well, this is now you have my attention because he knows my he's been with us for years. He knows my little thing. I'm like, let's scale upscale luxury. I'm with you all the way. Upscale luxury, I'm here. You know, that's the first thing. If you can stay in upscale luxury locations, that means tourism and I can get the money. So now what we need to know though is since you're next door, now we need to, well, actually, I don't even have to do this. We can go to Airbnb and look up Argentina. Now, here's the question. If you buy something for $69,000, which is a one bedroom, can I rent it for 75, 80, $100 per night? Because if I can't and I can only rent for like 60 or 50, that means I'm going to have single digit returns at the best case scenario with 50% occupancy. Why are we going to waste time if we're going to have single digits returns? You might as well just buy treasury bonds at 4.3%. That's what I'm getting at here, right? So that he has my attention because he says affluent neighborhood. Usually in affluent neighborhoods, luxury, upscale, you get to charge more. So I'm hoping the answer to the question is 160K 3 bedroom, I can charge $250 per night. And that means also it's not a condo hotel. That means that I'm going to be charged 20 to 25% property management so somebody can take care of it for me. Am I going to have to pay that? Because that's the only way I can get double digits. I can't do condo hotel double digits. So I'm going to actually do this offline because we have an empire, gentlemen, and I can't blame him. He says, post we have an appointment to meet this director next Thursday, this March. So we'll see. This art is beautiful, and you can find everything. Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's an old country. I mean, it's not, not what we're gonna do. We're gonna call here, and I'm just gonna go to Airbnb since we're talking about this a little bit because you're going to figure out where you're going to fit in, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a declining empire, so the United States. And remember, at one time, we're talking about UK, the British Empire was China, India, trying to come to the USA as well. Remember, these guys, the British Empire was huge. The Spanish Empire was huge. The Italian Empire was huge at one time. All of them declined. The Chinese Empire was huge. They all declined. So nothing changes in history because you mature like a corporation, a country matures. And then after you mature, where do you go from there? Well, we had the best of both worlds. We were like somewhat democratic republic. We had voting. We had people who wanted everybody kind of win, except for half of the population. I shouldn't say it that way. Okay, a fourth of the population. They wanted 75% of the population control 25% of the population. Even with that flaw, because we are a nation of immigrants, we're still able to have a bastion of hope because every immigrant that came to the shore said, "Hey, I might be the one out of 100 or the one out of 1,000 that succeed because some people do succeed because they work their butts." All right, there are two areas to check: San Telmo and La Recoleta. We went yesterday to the Recoleta Peron Tombstone. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I hear you. That was a leader at one time, right? If I'm not mistaken. That's pretty cool. All right, post-retirement travel. Hopefully, you have some of this drone footage. Hopefully, you have some videos because once again, post-retirement travel is part of the SSN Nation. You guys got to go sign up on his Instagram channel. Go to Instagram, post-retirement travel. Make sure you follow him and make sure you follow Stop Struggling Now. We need to get up to 1,000 followers this year. That'd greatly appreciated. Also, go over to click on his icon if you see on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, click his icon, then you can go directly to his channel. And what do? You hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you hit the all bell notification on YouTube. Make sure you do that for post retirement travel and Stop Struggling Now. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go to Argentina. No. Do that is more right. Yeah, that's where we gotta go. Okay. Why is oh we have a little delay. So it's gonna take me a minute to get there. It's gonna take a minute. All right, so those are the two areas. But the question is, as you know, we can have a nice area. We need to know, can we make our money back? Do we get to charge more than our 0.1%? Yesterday, we were in Brazil checking out Iguazu waterfalls from the Brazilian side, but in the press of nature's beauty, exactly. You get to appreciate things when you go around the world. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. All right. So here's what I'm doing. Okay. Now, I don't know Argentina at all, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know the weather. I have no clue. Let me see. I'm assuming the weather is similar to Central America. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm looking 13th to the 20th. I'm going to put in just simply two. I'm going to put in an entire room. We'll find out how this turned out because this is going to take a minute. So let me know what you guys think about this move to potentially invest in Argentina. Do we have enough travelers going to Argentina? We have I, I don't know the tour numbers. Argentina in 2020. Let's go look. I mean, it has 45, what is it? 45, 46 million people is in Argentina. Uh, yeah, here we go. Uh, yeah, whoa, what is this? Okay, so here's what happened. Okay, Argentina's National Statistics Institute has reported a drop in international visitors in 2024, with 10.93 million visiting the country, down from 13.4 million in 2023, a decline of 18,000, I mean, sorry, 18.5% in the country, down from 13.4, a decline of 18.5%. Among these, 6.2 were tourists. Okay, so I don't, so they're using a bunch of numbers apparently because only 6.2 were tourists. That's all that came. And that says that's reflecting an 8.4 decrease from the previous year. So it's not on the upside. So now we need to know, which they're not distinguishing difference. We need to know if this is air tourists or is this including, well, I don't think it's going to include any cruises. So it must be air. Now, 6.2, I don't know if that's a lot. I don't know if that's the numbers that people need to hear or see, but 6.2 million is not that many people when we have an island, Dominican Republic, that had 8.5 last year. Now, there is differences. The TR is, well, actually, it's a smaller country now that I'm thinking about it. What do they have? Like 11, 12 million for on the island versus 45 million in Argentina. So the there's a reflection. Once I get numbers up here. Okay, here we go. I put in March 13th. Here we go. Apartment in Recoleta, 305. Okay. Oh, wait. That's I can't write. It's a 5 star. Has koozies up top. There's another one. It looked but 50. That's against the rules. And now we need to know occupancy rates in Buenos Aires, right? Because as an investor, we have to go check this out, right? We just go by and sit there and say, okay, we dismiss it because of the tourist numbers, dismiss it because of the 0.1%. We need to know, what if the rental rates were 70% or greater in those neighborhoods? Yesterday, okay, that post-retirement travel, that's another beauty. Argentina's summer is opposite than ours. Their summer is our winter, November through April. You can rent for summer in here. We'll check out what you're talking about. Exactly. You need to know those numbers. Okay, so you're saying the reason why it's expensive traditionally is wintertime. Okay, we need to go over through there has to be a race of some sort. Yes, this is it. Let's go then to their their summer is November through April. Is that what you're saying? So we're in prime time? Okay, hold on a second. I won't I'll just hit the Google gods. Let's see what they say. What they say. Like I said, I'm not familiar with Argentina. I had really no reason to go visit there. Okay, high season, November to March. There you go. That's what they're saying. Shoulder season, September and October. Low season, April and May. Wait. Hold on. I messed something up. Okay, shoulder seasons are September and October, April and May. So why didn't they? Okay, September, October, April, and May are shoulder season. Low season is June to August. So June, July, and August are low season. There you have it. There you have it. Okay. So if high season is November through March, the question then comes, who are these tourists that go there during November through March? Because November through March, there's a whole bunch of places in the northern hemisphere that people can go visit November to March that has great weather. So this is interesting news. But now this also changes. No, this is prime time. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me look at this again. Hold on. Yeah, November to March. So March 13th to the 20th should have been prime time. So if they're charging this now, and that's less than 2 weeks away, obviously season they're going to charge less. So I'm looking at now. These look like very nice units. I see washer dryer combos. I see dishwashers. I see full kitchens. I don't. Whoa, I don't know if that's a full kitchen. I don't see a hood, but nonetheless, I don't know. But all I'm seeing here: one bedroom, one bath, 305 total, and it's that Recollet place location, and it's the 13th of March through the 20th of March. That's the apartment. They have hot tubs and pools. It looks like on the deck. Look, maybe upstairs on top. I mean, that's pretty cool, but we're talking about 20. What is that? 7 times. Hold on. Let me go reserve this. Go reserve looks like. Okay. I can get there. I can see. Okay. Translation. Um, I want it. It doesn't even really matter. It's 346, so that means $50 per night. And then it drops to 305 because of the week. So again, that's 305 divided by 7. So that's three around $35 per night, or 40 bucks, 45 $45 again. That's pretty expensive. So if the one bedroom costs 69K, that's below in prime time. That means low season I'm not gonna be able to charge the same places. I'm not like by the number, I'll put it that way. I'm not liking by the number. And it looks like for all of March, it looks like they range in that vicinity anywhere from 4 a week down to 255 for the week is the lowest. 255. Apartment with great location for 3 in Recoleta, free cancellation, and 1 bedroom once again. So now again, we're at 255 for a 1 bedroom. I don't know what they could. We need the tourist number. We need the occupancy because 255 divided by 7. It's $36.42 per night. That I can't buy this. Well, I shouldn't say I can't. The only way you could buy this is it would have to have 80% occupancy or 90% occupancy. That's about the only way I can see this because otherwise the numbers don't make sense. You'll be in single digits. So, post-retirement travel, since you're going to be out there, you're probably going to need to check the full gamut. If you're seriously interested about it, you're going to have to find out how much it's going to cost you to have management. You're also going to have to figure out what it's going to, other costs involved, how much your taxes, how much your HOAs, how much, the usual. You're an investor, you know what you're going to ask. But point I'm trying to make is if we do normal 20, 25% and we're buying something for 70 G's, is a 1 bedroom, and we're getting 3 5 per week, and I mean 255 per week. In high season, never mind what they're charging in low season or shoulder season. So high season, we're charging people $37. Let's round up $37 per night. What's low season gonna cost me? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the high season numbers for the whole year. So I'm going to say something crazy because I don't think it's true, but we'll just say 80% occupancy rate, right? We'll say it's like Vegas or condo hotels, let's say. So we'll do 80% occupancy. So when we do 365 times 80% occupancy, that's 292 nights times 37. That's 10,800. So we make 10,804. And then I'll be gracious. I'll just take off 20% management fees. So that brings us down to 8,643. And then I'll be even more generous and say, okay, the 1 bedroom's like 450 square feet. Like it doesn't really matter. We'll just say the HVs are $1,200 a year minus 1,200. So we're down to 7,443. Now we don't know anything else at this point. We don't know property taxes. We don't know what the status is. But I'll deal with this number by itself because it already makes no sense. So we make $7,443.20, and you divide that by what you paid for something, right? In this case, we're talking about 70 grand. I believe, if I got my numbers right. And with that number, we end up at 10.6. If my numbers, if we got 80%, you would have to get 80% in order for this to make sense, and it still may not make sense. And this is 70 grand. So you need 80% occupancy. Your HOA has to be $100 a month, which is $1,200 a year. And your management fee has to be 20%. Any of those numbers, if the management fee is 25%, then you're going to be under 10%. And the occupancy rate has to be at 8%, not 6, not 50, because if you're below 80%, you're not even going to be in the ballpark percent. So that's the dollar question when you have November through March. November, December, January, February, March is 5 months. You have basically other 6 months that's slower season. So we do, ladies and gentlemen, we just check out Airbnb, T-I-C-S. I'm going to try and pull up Buenos Aires. I like talking about real estate because this is one of the ways that you can be Mr. Worldwide. Everybody, you can be around the world and make has no Wi-Fi. I'm running Wi-Fi off my phone actually, and of course, you guys know how slow that's going to be. That's not for streaming purposes. Therefore, I appreciate everybody being here tonight on this SS Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. We're talking about a little bit of real estate, but at the same time, this is what you have to do. You have to start. You are a corporation, ladies and gentlemen. You, as a corporation, make money, and you take your W-2 or your business money and you do with it what you want. So you are a corporation, but you don't look at yourself. A lot of people don't look at themselves as a corporation. You just look at yourself as I'm just a worker. I just do this. No, you are a corporation. You have to start thinking like one. You got to protect your corporation. That's what you're trying to do out here because our government and the world is acting very, very strange. Anti-human is what we'll call it. Donate. I see you in the house. Thank you so much for being here on the Nation. I can't give up to the chat room. I can't see it. I see the chat. So unfortunately, I'm on my phone and I can actually see there. But thank you so much. He brings us back on what's good, SSN Nation. Well, tonight the show still goes on. I do. It's okay. How everybody this evening says, another investor. We're talking about another investment, as in Post Retirement Travel says he's down in Argentina. He's on his Mr. Worldwide tour, and he's saying this is what's going down in some of the best locations in Buenos Aires. We'll see how that goes. We're going to find out the occupancy rate. This is going to be very, very interesting because, again, if it's not 8% and can't charge $40 per night all year long, apparently we can't because it's not high season all year long. So during low season, I'm assuming they're going to charge a little to get more people to stay at their place. So we're going to find out here shortly. Now, the top tonight, though, is the end of an empire. That is the United States. All empires have fallen. You guys should read the history books. The United Kingdom, the British Empire fell, right? In there. Uh-oh. Chinese Empire fell. The Roman Empire fell. The Ottoman Empire fell. No difference. The fall. Just depends on what you're doing. It's just had the advantage in the banking network in other countries were able to do because they didn't have the currency, so it fell in play with it. So therefore, now you have less of the population even involved with government and cares about the government when they can't feed themselves and their families. So this is how a empire happens. And somebody decides to invade you, or we're going to test you. Then the other enemies that you've created over the years, they start acting like enemies against you. This history, this is what's going to happen. And right now, this is just the Wild West. It's unsafe. It's not very well, in my opinion. A lot of people, but nonetheless, let's go to Airbnb and text ARBTIC. For some reason, I can't pull it up. It's unfortunate because I wanted to see what Buenos Aires was. That would be very interesting. let's get back to the situation because we have, yeah, every tip is different from what is not had. I always don't know why, but anyhow, let's get to the situation. Less revenue in the hands of the population that has to pay the government taxes, the form of tax. So if you have less money, you can't take care of yourself. And that also means decisions on where you're going to get these extra streams of revenue from if you have a declining empire, which means less revenues coming in because people don't have simple. Okay, up. Go see. Let's go see Buenos Aires. I spelled that wrong. Again, I don't like 80% occupancy rates. Like I made some videos, ladies and gentlemen, about condo hotels. There's condo hotels as part of MEM, the signature MEM. They do 81, 82%. That's one of the highest I've ever seen. But again, they're in Las Vegas, right on the MGM property with a little water park, pool, pretty sweet. But so, I mean, 80% is pretty good. But the problem is the fallout is even worse because the HOA fees are something like $1,500 per month. High turnover, true, but with all of that, because it's a condo hotel, people are earning hardly anything. Hardly anything. That's the worst. They're like some people are paying, which is crazy. Some people have mortgages. It's a situation where the HOA fees are increasing so much that the profit is going into, the profits are going out of the owner's hands. But some owners bought in like 15 years ago, and the property was hundred some odd dollars. They're making out like because the rate is 0.3% of somebody's price today. In other words, people have to pay 250 to 300,000 to the unit there. So that person returned to 64% documents, 228 active listings. That's in Florida, by the way. South Florida's Boca Raton. That's used to be one of those retirement locations. So it does not surprise me that would happen. Okay, what's going on? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. That must not for Argentina. There's no way. It's not. There's no 12 clubs for the week here. There's none of that happening. So and not even close to that in on air. So I'm buying it. That's not gonna work. That's Let's go try this one more time, and I'll have to let this one go. It's not cooperating. This is no surprise. All right. Yeah, it's not going to be any surprise. It's not allowing me to do what I need to do. Oh, it's always okay. It's trying to load me up on that, which I'm not going to happen. So now let's get back to this. What do you do, ladies and gentlemen? U.S. empire is declining. What will you do? Will you still be able to build wealth? Yes, you can. You're going to have to start thinking unconventional in some cases. You say, okay, Eric, I don't really know about the stock market, but I know some people are going to downgrade. All right, just so everybody knows, Buenos Aires, even though I couldn't pull it up, it says as of September 12, 2024, was 29,335 active Airbnb listings in Buenos Aires alone. That's pretty hefty. The average daily rate for short-term rental in Buenos Aires is 34,173. Oh, the median occupancy rate for short-term rentals in Buenos Aires is 66%. Okay, median means we'll go up to 30,000 active Airbnb listings, okay? The median means it's not half, and you've added them all together and then divided by that number. The median means the 15,000 rental rate. That is the median. So if some people get 85% occupancy and other people get like 47% occupancy, the person going down from the 30,000 person median means the 15,000 person is doing 66%. So that would mean 15,000 people are doing less than 66%. And that also could mean 15,000 people are doing better than 66%. But in the case of an investor, we can't go by that. We need to know in what location. The average length of stay for Airbnb in Buenos Aires is 5.7 days. The most common group size for an Airbnb booking in Buenos Aires is 2.5 people, 2 to 3 people. All of this makes sense. And if you study statistics or anything, you can start extrapolating. If somebody tells you that they have 6.2 million visitors, right? Let's just assume it's by air. You automatically have to divide that by 2. So really you have 3 million, right? 6.2, so we'll have 3.1. But because we have 0.5, sometimes there's 3 people, but that's only like half the time. So now you start breaking down different ways you can look at it and start going, okay. So really, it's roughly about 2 million couples, or 2.5 people, 2 million that's going to be looking for a place during the month. So then I start going, okay, if we have 2 million, what's that mean per month? So then I'm starting to do it right now. So you got to understand, this is an investor standpoint. 2 million divided by I lost my train of thought on the numbers that I was going to. 6.2 million. Okay, so we got 2 million visitors and we have 66% occupancy out of that. So that, I don't know if that's going to cut it. We have 30,000 listings. 30,000 listings divided by 2 million. That I don't think that's going to be good. $66.6. That's not going to be very good in a given week. Oh, and I know where I was going with this. I was going to go by the week too. So we got 2 million visitors divided by 52 weeks. And so that's where the numbers start really. That's not enough people. That's not enough people. So this is very interesting. And don't forget, when they're using these numbers for Airbnb, a lot of people forget there's other short-term rental agencies. So that does matter as well. All right. Now, Airbnb ticks. Hold up a second. Let me go see if I can pull this up. Insights from a okay, I got you. Insights from what do they call that? Airbnb user. So these are all the same stats. They're saying there's 29,335 active Airbnb users. That does not include Evolve. And by the way, I don't know what their currency is. It's probably some sort of it's probably some sort of peso. Let's see. It says 34,000 per night. I don't know what that means, but maybe somebody else will help us out here. Again, I don't know what their currency is. I know their currency backed up though. Uh, yeah, I do mean that, but to USD. Let's see what we got. This is business, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we talk about here. Stop struggling now. If you want to stop immediately, that's so we're in the ballpark. $32.14. That's what it is per night there, ladies and gentlemen. On average, that's 34,173 in Argentine pesos. $32 a night. That's like 10 to 1. Is that 10 to 1? Is that what that is? Or is it 30 to 1? What is that? I don't know. No, that's like 10 to, yeah, that's 10 to 1. Or no, 100 to 1. I think that's 100. No, that's even more. 1,000, whoa, crazy. That's crazy. That's 1,000 to 1. It can't be, yeah. It can't be. Uh, that can't be right. Oh, because meals are going to be $5, $3. That's not how it works. So, know what meals are. That would be a very interesting take on this. That would be actually very awesome. But anyhow, I'm going to make this sweet, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. You empire is declining. You have to make decisions financially for you, your friends, or you and your family and loved ones. You're going to have to think of outside of the box. I'm going to keep saying this for 1 year, 9 months that you're going to have. And a lot of people don't like hearing it because they're saying you're no Nostradamus, but you don't have to be a Nostradamus if you know history. And the way the United States is moving is they're putting themselves in harm's way unnecessarily by doing these things such as being against the world and making friends enemies, enemies friends, and thinking the enemies who are going to be your friends aren't going to backstab you. I just don't understand why we're going down this path and why we're going down this path as a nation of immigrants to implode what made America the envy of the world by allowing people from all nationalities and backgrounds to come, which also meant allowing people from all nationalities and backgrounds because a combined group is much smarter than a few. So, being a combined group, we pretty much were able to outsmart the rest of the world because some of the thoughts were taken from people from all over the world and what makes our system better for everyone everybody. And once you start acting like you don't want the system better for everybody, that is not what makes America what it is. The system is supposed to include a lot of people, whether you have the slaves or whether you have Chinese coming and acting and being slaves, or whether you had Indians, indigenous people being slaves. It does not matter. That system still had people risking their life to come here, right? So now we're supposed to have been making the system better for everybody. So then that way we can always stay inclusive and powerful. Now we're going down a path of separation. And that in itself means that you're going to have a declining empire, because one day X amount of citizens are going to wake up and say, you know what? I don't really care anymore. I don't want to be part of this system. And now the government going to have revenues that they're going to need to support their armies or support whatever they're trying to do. And once you start losing your, for instance, you don't want to take care of veterans who went to wars for you, that, because they don't have the revenue coming in, one, that's going to, that's a effect. You say, okay, I don't want our people to, we want to have people not get education. Now, all of a sudden, down the line, where are you going to find people that are going to be able to come up with new ideas, with new innovative ideas, and not have it where your enemies can sabotage you because you have to go outside of the USA, for instance, right? These are the type of things that you can see where we're going. And everybody is just like, we're good with it, but you should think twice, because every country is where we're going. Every country, not every, a lot of countries have already been, and look where they are now. That's the thing. So we'll find out. But unfortunately, for everybody that's a single individual who's not a billionaire and millionaire, you have to make plans. If this happens, then I can go with, if A happens, then B happens. If B happens, then C happens. If C happens, then D happens. And so therefore, we say, go and pay attention. Be here next week, because we're going to be talking about, guess what? Trust. That's right. We're going to be talking about trust. You're going to be the big boys. You're going to be the CEO. We're going to have someone that do trust, has trust, family trust. We're going to talk about it so you can protect yourself and your assets. Because if your assets aren't going to be taken by eminent domain, which could happen, then you need to protect it from other people being able to just do whatever they want. And then they can't sue you either, because the trust isn't you, right? So just think about all of these opportunities. And we're going to get into it, because I need to make sure you guys are on the right path. Because after all this hard work you're going to do, to have somebody to be able to just walk up and say, well, we're going to sue you today, even though it's frivolous, that right there triggers several things. You have to pay lawyers, attorneys, you have to go to court, you have to spend years to resolve something that even happened, and no compensation on the backside for somebody acting foolish. So you're going to have to protect yourself, because it's going to turn a time as this the most litigious country in the world. People used to try to get free money out of people, and when there's a lack of money, people are going to do anything. So keep that in mind. All right, you guys got to be prepared out here. The duffel bag of cash, the copper, you need that. You need food, water. Know around it. You stash it somewhere. I don't know where, but you gotta stash it somewhere. All right. I'm sounding like a prepper right now. But all I'm trying to say is, unless something changes dramatically over the next 2 years, we're gonna find ourselves in a situation with who knows what. And if it turns out fine, at least you got some more assets. And at least you made it worldwide. But if it doesn't turn out fine, then you have a escape. You have an escape, right? So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna run off tonight. I'll be with you guys on Monday night, and unfortunately, I'm not gonna have Wi-Fi here. I don't think. I might have to import it myself. I might have to pay for it here, or get something from Xfinity or something like that. That can give me, I don't need to have that, and probably still just, but I'll see if I can get one from Xfinity here. Um, and if in fact I'm not going to mess with Xfinity, I'm back in Cali. I can't mess with them. I'm going to mess with. In fact, I'll just go check Verizon because remember Xfinity is Comcast. I keep forgetting. I saw the Xfinity box here, and I keep forgetting. I can mess with those guys, and by choice. Anybody that sends me a message, any business that sends me a message, you've been a customer 10, 15, we don't care. We want to charge you like whatever we want, double, and charge me. Don't even send me a message. I'm not rocking with you. So that's why I don't rock with StreamYard. I don't rock with Comcast or Xfinity, as they call themselves now. They had to change their name, obviously. So that means I have to find somebody else, right? I'm in business else. That means I'll go to AT&T, Verizon. I know Verizon has this little box that I need, so then I can have high speed internet. So we'll see how that all goes. But nonetheless, join me on Monday at 8:50 p.m. And again, I thank everybody for being here. But think about it in your mind over the weekend about a declining empire and what it could look like for you and your family. Because a lot of people right now, there's people dying. A lot of my friends, families, and it's amazing. People are dying. After they die, they're finding out things like people have mortgages on their homes, right? And they're trying to whole time spend a lot of money on trying to fix the house up, maintain the house, thinking it's going to be a family house. Well, now that the person is gone who also makes money, now somebody has to pay for this place while they live somewhere else. That starts being a daunting task. All the bills on one person, for instance, because the other family members might say, I want to sell it. And then the one that says, well, it's in our trust, we're not selling it. That wasn't the idea. This is the type of thing that comes up that people do not realize. There's no way to game plan for this. But if it happens to other people, then now you can game plan. You say, okay, I see now when it comes to whatever's left over that's valuable, people start fighting over it like it's theirs. So therefore, this is why when you have a declining empire, even governments, your city, your state, they grab things. Don't just think it's the federal government. It's your city and state and county. They grab things too. When they don't have enough money, right? They start doing wiggy stuff. So just keep yourself above reproach on what you need to do. All right. Because if you do anything that's not above board, they can always come out and say, well, you did that wrong. See this law on the books. This is why we're going to take your stuff. All right. And you're like, what is this? This isn't a law, but yeah, it's written in the law books and we're going to enforce it today because we want to take your stuff. So we don't care about the other people's stuff. They're doing the same thing you're doing, but see, you're a problem. So we're going to take your stuff. So that's how this works here in America that a lot of people are blind to. They don't realize this is a thing. Eminent domain. What do you think that is? I mean, that's just taking people's stuff too, right? So just think about this and have a great weekend. Everybody stay safe out here, but make sure you please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, I know it's hard out here, but my fear for you is that it's going to get a lot harder. There's a lot of people out here, and I always say you're not built for this. So I haven't really been in the workplace in like 30 years or something. But the fact of the matter is, I saw enough when I was. And it sounds like to me that a lot of people are still in the same type of environment where it's the crony system. It's a favorite type of system. A person is the favorite of the boss, or it's all the same BS that I keep seeing online. That you walk into work and it's total disrespect these days. Have it? Can you imagine? I can't even imagine because we didn't have emails, but well, actually we did. But the fact of the matter is, can you really imagine getting an email while you're at home saying you're fired or laid off? Don't come in today. I mean, this is so much disrespect. It's ridiculous. That is wild on all kind of levels. After you've been working there for 5, 10 years or something, and you get an email in your inbox saying don't show up to work anymore. That's so disrespectful. But that's what's counting these days is some sort of great business ethic. I don't understand it. This is crazy. And by the way, I mean, there's so much stuff that should be raising red flags. I'm sitting there like I can't even believe government has sending letters or telling people who work as federal employees, "Hey, why don't you tell us what you're doing here to deserve your job?" I'm like "Wait, didn't you just hire the why did you hire the person then? Why are they part of your team? What do you mean? You're asking somebody what they've done to make their job." My thing was, well, hold on. If we're going to start doing this, yes, I'm an employee, but then I got to have an attitude because my attitude would be like, well, since you're asking, why don't you show us why we're getting paid what we're getting paid after we're doing all the work? See, I'm like, I can't talk to people. They can't talk to me crazy like this. I'm just like, I'm here busting my ass. What do you mean? I got to now justify why I'm here busting my ass or what? You're going to fire me. Okay, that's great. But this is where we're at right now. People are thinking that they don't have to go by any laws. No laws that's been, you know, over the last 30, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years. People died to have unions. People died to have equality in the workplace. People died to be able to have salaries equal to the same level as male versus female. I mean, this is insane that people are just like, oh, we're just going to give it all up. That's a sign of a declining empire when your people have no hope because it's like, well, I got to live, so I can't lose my job, so I better do what they say. And even though I get paid exploitation wages, it's not livable wages. I'm still going to keep showing up and I'm still going to take this. This is where we're going. And you can see the downslide of what an employee has meant to corporations just by layoffs today. Just today, go look at the tech layoffs. That is crazy, right? So keep all this in mind as you're out here thinking that everything's going to be fine and you live in a declining empire and you're a subsidiary of that declining empire, which means you're going down with the ship, basically. Now, if you have friends in high places, you don't get to go down with the ship. It's always nice to sit there at the top of the mountain while everybody else is sliding down the hill, and you're sitting there like, haha, I'm all good. Good thing we're up here, but we took out the feet underneath everybody below us. That's nice. So there's always that. We have this thing as humans that we're better than everybody else for some unknown reason. We didn't deserve it. We didn't do anything extra. But because we have more money, more gold, more silver, more diamonds, we're better than you. And so therefore, we'll cut everything else underneath you because we can survive. We don't really care about you. We're just going to walk off. Have a nice life, but we're going to go on do our thing wherever our castles are in the sky. We're good. So keep this in mind as you think that nothing could happen to you. And you're thinking, oh, I'm fine. I'm in the United States. It's the best. Well, you've been marketed something that does not exist. Just keep that in mind. It's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful way. But basically, in the 18 and 1900s, remember, we had immigrants coming here by the boatloads. And that's how you formed a country. So just keep this in mind. All right. Now, I'll see you guys on Monday. I love you guys very much. I want everybody to succeed. If you need anything, you can always hit me up at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. Support@stopstrugglingnow.com. You can also go down below in the description boxes and make sure you download your Robinhood and Webull. We had a down market this week, this month. I wonder why. Everybody should know you're part of the SSN Nation. Come on, when you start talking about war, tariff wars, retaliation of wars, and our enemies or our friends or our enemies, and now our friends are saying I'm going to do retaliatory stuff to you, and that causes chaos, and that is not good for business. You're a subsidiary, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody is messing with your business, which you don't understand. And that sixth grade education that Americans have By the way, go look it up. You guys, sixth grade education is not very good. At one time, we were in the top 5 in the world. We're no longer in the top 40 in the world for education. That should tell you something as well, but it's a declining empire. Again, you have all the signs, but people do not pay attention. If your population is dumbing down, that means whoever controls you is now going to be able to do whatever they want because you don't know any better. You don't realize what's happening. So that is a problem. And the other problem is once there's things out the bag, such as robberies, killings, mayhem, now all of a sudden you have to watch your back. You have to watch your family's back. You have to start doing things that you normally would not do because you don't understand it. So I'm giving you doomsday. I'm giving you T minus 1 year, 9 months before get all your assets together. Do what you got to do around the world, not just in the United States. And if you're outside of the United States and you actually get to hear this, even your country that you're staying in, you are not supposed to trust them. You're supposed to say, let me get something outside my country. Let me set myself up in a couple of locations because that way, if one gets shut down, I still have another opportunity somewhere else. Because you're not the government, you're not a diplomat. You don't get to just roam freely around. You actually have to have passports and papers, visas. You got to have a reason to be in another country. So you have to put yourself in position for that reason. So you're not going to get hemmed up. So you know. All right. Now, again, I will see you guys on Monday night. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for putting up with my podcast style tonight. No face. But everybody on podcast, they'll say, well, we've never seen your face before. So it's all good. But nonetheless, see you guys on Monday night at 8:50 p.m. And thank you so much for being here. And just remember, no matter what happens out here, keep your head up, keep moving. And I'm